Can you believe it's been 1 year since Disney Dreamlight Valley released in early access? Let's talk about the journey so far and my thoughts on the game. Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another video on Disney Dreamlight Valley. Yes, it has been exactly 1 year since early access happened for this game in 2022. So, wow, this game definitely has come a long way since it first came out. I think every single update, even the smaller ones, have improved the game in a decent way. Though, of course, not everything has been perfect with this game either, especially lately. It definitely has its controversies. Despite that though, I've had a lot of enjoyment out of Disney Dreamlight Valley, and it's only getting better with each and every update. Even though I'm not playing as much lately, I am hoping that there will be a big update to really pull me back in, which will hopefully when Belle arrives in the valley. I've been a vocal supporter of this game since day one when I first watched that trailer. I just had a feeling that this game was going to be something special, and at least for me, it definitely turned out that way. I already have more hours in this early access version of the game than I do with Animal Crossing New Horizons, which I mentioned because it's a very similar game. A Nintendo series that I grew up with is Super Smash Bros. I started playing with Super Smash Bros. Melee on the GameCube, and in a way, even though the genre is completely different, Dreamlight Valley reminds me of that just for the nature of it being a crossover game. But it's like another whole part of my childhood because it's so focused on all of these classic Disney characters from across time uniting in this game, living in this valley that you have so much customization over. I grew up with a lot of Disney animated movies during my childhood, as I'm sure many of you have too, and it actually has encouraged me to rewatch some Disney movies from the past that I haven't seen in quite a while. Actually, I still need to rewatch Beauty and the Beast because I don't think it was too many years ago when I last saw that one, but I'd still love to have that fresh in my mind going into the Belle update. But I did, for example, rewatch my all-time favorite movie, The Lion King, which I hadn't seen in many years because the Simba and Nala update was around the corner, and I love it just as much, if not even more so, than I did as a kid, but with a different level of appreciation too, because specifically the voice acting, even though I of course liked it as a kid, I have more appreciation for it as an adult. I don't know why, it's hard to explain, but I took in that particular aspect of the movie even more than I did back then. It has been a nice experience re-exploring all of these Disney movies thanks to the influence of this game. So in a way, this game has had an effect on me a bit outside of the game too, on a more personal level. But getting back to the game itself, let's talk about the journey through the content updates so far. The first major one was Scar's Kingdom, and it's one of the smallest ones so far, but it makes sense because that was the very first one, and I'm glad they did start out with a Lion King character. And it was interesting too, seeing like the Forgotten just in the flesh for the first time. And yeah, I mean, it was a pretty decent start. But then Update 2, I think, is actually where the updates have peaked so far, because not only did we get the Toy Story realm with Woody and Buzz, we also got Stitch through a sort of more hidden quest line that unlocks him. But there were some other interesting things in this Missions in Uncharted Space update as well, including socks, because yeah, we did not have socks at the beginning of this game, believe it or not. And we also got that offset time of day feature, which is so good. One of the best additions to the game, because it is annoying, like with Animal Crossing New Horizons, for example, you have to set the internal clock differently if you don't want it to be like, if you're, say, in the situation of working daytime almost every day, and then that means that you almost always have to play the game at night unless you set the clock back. But with Dreamlight Valley, it's a lot easier to do. And for me personally, it's not just the fact that you can set it to any time of day you want. You can have it so that you can have sunsets specifically at any time you want, because I think that's a great time for taking pictures. The sunsets in this game are just gorgeous. Oh yeah, and it was also the first time that we had alternate costumes, or dream skins as they're called, for certain characters, because we did get one for Merlin and another for Mickey. Still waiting on the Let It Go dress for Elsa though. Hopefully we get that in the game one day. The third major update was a Festival of Friendship featuring Mirabelle and Olaf. I remember I was going on in so many videos about how badly I wanted Olaf in the game, especially because I was saving space for him in the Frosted Heights just for him to be living in Anna and Kristoff's castle. Well, I guess that space I could still save for somebody else. Mirabelle was a great addition too, and she had the element of surprise behind her because she was not leaked in any way before her announcement. Mirabelle is still the only character from Encanto in the game, and I would say it is one of the most beloved modern Disney movies. I think we gotta get Bruno at some point, right? I mean, I know we're not supposed to talk about him, but yeah, I could imagine him being a surprise character in a future update in a similar way to Stitch. Some other cool additions were the training manuals, so you could change a villager's role instead of it just being stuck forever. We could customize our house with new house skins through the premium shop. We could move the doors inside our houses for the first time. And most importantly, the storage update, because we were only able to craft treasure chests with 2 rows of storage, which made it a huge pain to hang on to things, especially if you were storing materials for a quest like, say, minis that requires lots of clay. Then we have update 4, Pride of the Valley. So this was a pretty big deal to me because finally we got Simba and Nala, after Scar was the sole Lion King character in the valley. And this was a fun one to play through for sure. I'll talk a bit more about the Star Paths later in the video, but this theme park one I think is my favorite one that they've released. Some other noteworthy additions were the toys for the animal companions, so there was a bit more for them to do. There is also the new sprint option, where if you've overmaxed your energy, then your character can start kind of hovering in a surfing motion and move faster, so that was interesting. And also, you can slowly refill your energy bar when you sit on furniture outside of your home. But one big question remains, where's Timon and Pumbaa? I think, unfortunately, they will be saved for separate DLC after the game has released in free-to-play, which is a shame, because it's like we have to wait for 3 separate content drops to complete the main cast of The Lion King. The 5th major update was called The Remembering, and it added the final chapter of the first story arc, and the fairy godmother. Finally, we were able to see who lives in the pumpkin house, and many people, including myself, were right. Yes, it is the fairy godmother's house. Not Maleficent or Cinderella or anybody else. Though hopefully those 2 will be added to the game eventually. We do see Cinderella in the intro video. But yeah, we did get that final completion of the storyline, also hinting at some interesting stuff in the post-credits. And we also got mannequins, which is really cool because then that's our way of saving pre-made outfits that we can easily put on whenever we go up to them. We also got Touch of Magic for furniture, which reminds me so much of Create a Style in The Sims 3 in the best way possible. We're also able to have multiple player homes placed down, though to be honest I haven't taken advantage of this yet because I think we need more biomes. I am running out of space, but thankfully this update did increase the limit of items that we can place in the valley through an optional setting. So I haven't taken too much advantage of that yet either, but I am still so grateful that the item limit has increased because it was getting very restrictive for me. Now this brings us to the most recent update, to Dream Snaps. This, I don't know if I would say this or Scar's Kingdom was the smallest update, but I think this was meant to be part of Update 5, but then for whatever reason, maybe they just needed more time to work on the Dream Snaps feature, it got pushed to this separate update rollout. So it has the Dream Snaps feature where you can submit your own photos with these different guidelines with different challenges, such as what makes your valley the most unique, or suiting like a dark theme, or the beach theme, things like that. And you can actually win plenty of moonstones out of that feature if you're lucky. Like Update 5, we only got one character this time around, which is Vanellope von Schweetz from Wreck-It Ralph. I do like this character, but it is strange how they've gone about adding certain villagers, because where is Wreck-It Ralph? He's the protagonist of the movie, and Ralph and Vanellope are best friends, so it just feels so weird to have one without the other. And that's it. Really not much to talk about. They did rebalance Scrooge's shop a bit, so it was less repetitive, but nothing else worth discussing, I don't think. With the star path so far, we started out with Pixar Fest, then Villains for Halloween, Festive Star Path for the holidays, Centennial to celebrate Disney's 100th anniversary this year, Disney Parks, which is the one that I've definitely been most impressed by so far, and the most recent one is the Wonder of Pixar. I have participated in all of them. I think they're pretty decent value overall, especially compared to the premium shop. The only star path I think I have walked away from disappointed was the Centennial one. I just don't think the rewards compared to the others were all that interesting, but yeah. Star Paths are basically the equivalent to Battle Passes, where it's a limited time with the seasons lasting roughly a month. Very common in games nowadays, especially free-to-play ones. And out of all the ones I've played, I think Disney Dreamlight Valleys are the most generous and just not as stressful as other ones that I've endured. So that is good, because honestly, I am overall getting tired of the concept. But at least with Dreamlight Valley, they don't take super long to complete. So that basically takes us up to the now. The game has improved a lot since it first came out. I do wish they would add characters faster though. I was hoping we would have more of them by now, but there are still ones that we even see in the intro video, like Timon and Pumbaa, and Rapunzel, and Sully, and Cinderella, that we still don't have. I thought we'd have all of them a year in, so I am concerned about that. We still don't know exactly when the game is going to go free to play, because they used to say this year, but now they've stayed quiet about it, which has me second guessing that a lot, as to like maybe it is getting pushed back until next year, which I would be fine with, to be honest, because that would give them more time to have a fuller cast and a better game overall before it gets a second wave of attention for it going free to play. That takes us up to the now, where hopefully the Beauty and the Beast update is just around the corner. So bizarre that Belle has been so prominently displayed on the cover art from day one, but we're getting her a year later. I wonder if there is some sort of special reason for that. So far, they've only dropped very small teasers. I am recording this video on the 5th, so just a day before the anniversary, so maybe an hour or two after this video goes up, we will actually know a lot more. But I guess we're probably not going to get the update until later in the month, unless they surprise drop it today or wait until Thursday, because I think that is when they always release the major updates. But yeah, I guess as long as it happens this month, then it's okay. In conclusion, I love Disney Dreamlight Valley. There have been games where I've played them and wished I did not participate in early access, because then it's like if I had waited until the full launch, then I'd have way more content to start out with and have a much better first impression. But I've enjoyed Disney Dreamlight Valley, following it from day one to the release of early access, actually playing the early access, up until now, so I hope this game continues to flourish and improve and solve some of its issues. Sure, the premium shop is overpriced, but ignoring that stuff, you still have a really good game underneath that can easily keep you entertained for hours at a time, especially if you haven't finished all the quests yet. But I think I'm gonna wrap this up here. If you watched the whole way through, thank you so much for listening to me ramble about this game. I knew with the 1-year anniversary coming up, I had to do something special for it because I've become so invested in Dreamlight Valley, and well, I guess we'll see what this game is gonna shape up to be when we're 2 years in, and hopefully it will be released in free-to-play access by then. Feel free to let me know your thoughts, experiences, best memories with Dreamlight Valley in the comments section below, and be sure to subscribe if you'd like to keep up with my latest gaming content. I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!